Welcome to the free energy forecast for this week of September the 1st, 2025. Oh my God, people, we are beginning to arrive. I know it doesn't seem like it at all, but we were beginning to arrive, and I think I've got some good things to share with you. So, as always, a couple of announcements. Let's start with the first announcement. For the first time in a while, I got some psychic notes. And for safety purposes, I'm not doing them publicly. For me to be perfectly candid with this and some of the things I need to talk about, not going to talk about it publicly. But it is inside of my extended forecast, and I'm doing a much longer extended forecast than I normally do. Normally, it's like I try and keep it to 20 minutes, and this is like, it's like, far longer than that. But so for the first time in a while, I've got some psychic notes to share. It is in my subscription, Extended Energy Forecast. You can find Linktree, Shopify, and somaticmoney.com. And second announcement, before I am off to the races with all of the other energy information this week, something very interesting happened to me last week. And I'm going to take just a little while to talk about it because it's important for all of us. And that is that, how I've, taken, in the last month, I've taken this really hard right-hand turn, and I've really focused in on energy forecasting as one pillar, and art is life, life is art. Oh my God, the art came out of nowhere, right? And then the third pillar, body-based money relationships, somatic money, which I have been doing for a very long time. And Spirit Team has had me drop psychic notes kind of off the back end, and now I'm beginning to find out, sometimes it will have a place in the energy forecasting, the subscription form of it. But for a little while, like in the middle of all of these changes going on, and I got to tell you, like, I have doubted everything. I have had deep questioning. It's been uncomfortable. It's been scary even, because it's like, taking a sharp right-hand turn with an established social media audience. Like I've definitely had moments of like, what am I doing? And so about in the last 10 days, I've, as I can see and feel things begin to solidify a little bit and begin to see the lay of the landscape, I've been asking this question, like, Spirit Team, why these three pillars? Why energy forecasting, art is life, life is art, body-based money relationship? Like, to me, I can kind of sort of see the similarities, but I don't see why we're landing these three. Like, I'm not seeing it. Like, help me out here. Well, Spirit Team helped me out. They definitely helped me out. They helped me out to the tune of when Venus crossed into Leo with all of those different configurations going on. I had a very deep energetic and emotional experience, and it all went, I literally had this experience somatically, through my body that showed me of like, oh, this is why I'm doing these three things right now. So let me let you in on the secret. And I'm beginning to write a few, program pieces that connect up with this. They're recorded, but I don't have them out there yet. So here's the inside secret on this. So if you are here, chances are likely that you are a highly sensitive soul. You're highly sensitive, your HSP, your intuition, psychic, all of those radar pieces are either turned on or turning on. You're neurodivergent, right? And for those of us who are HSP, it is incredibly important that we know what our energy environment is for a certain window of time, right? Because we're sensitive and energy people, we tend to be susceptible to the energy environment going on. And so it's really important to know what the energy forecasting is so we know how to navigate our week properly, right? Like, it is a thing. It's not in our head. It is real. I have been experiencing this and doing this for years. At this point, I feel like sensitive people, part of their functionality needs to be knowing what's going on during any energetic part of the week, so you know how to navigate and live your best life or live the best way that you possibly can in the time frame that you're in without feeling like you're crazy or without totally going crazy. And so that is a very important piece of the equation. That's pillar one on my platform. Like, to me, it's the most important piece. Now, let's bring up the second piece. The second piece is somatic money. Now, this makes a lot of sense to me because because money is not only physical, money is also energetic, right? And so if you're a sensitive soul working in an energy environment and money functions in certain ways with different energy environments, it's really important that you know what the energy environment is so you know how you are going to be interacting with your money on any given day of the week, right? Well, I'm going to be focusing so much more on that. Like right now, I'm doing the Somatic Money Oracle read, and I'm finding out that those Oracle reads are totally plugged in with the astrology and energies for the week. And so I'm going to be giving highlight to that in my Somatic Money Oracle read on a weekly basis. You need to go from the energy forecast to the Oracle read when I put it out. And the subscription is going to be the very inner workings of that, the nuance, detail, inner workings of that, along with Q&A where you can come in and ask me questions and we can have discussions. And so literally I am setting up group somatic money coaching in video form for all of us to have an interaction there. So don't just drop off at the energy forecasting at the top of the week. Watch for that second one to come through so you can begin to interact there as well. So that is integrating connection number 2 in with connection number 1, energy forecasting with energy of money, right? Okay, so, and we're not done yet. Now here's the third piece. The third piece is that art is life, life is art. To me, that's the whole wild card of like, like what? This came out of left field. It's crazy. But some things happened this week with me experiencing that movement of Venus into Leo. And then I had some interactions with some of my audience members in that art of life place. And what I'm beginning to realize is like, here's the deal. Money, the home of money is second chakra. That's the energy center right beneath your navel. And I have known this for a long time, biology of money. I've talked about second chakra money stuff for a very, very long time. And I've known that money, especially for women, second chakra is very connected to voice and unleashing money and voice with healing sexual trauma. Like that's been a whole thing for me. Well, what happened this week, it got kicked over the line and I got shown how much art, and I'm having this happen in my own life, I'm finding how much that the expression of art, which is definitely throat chakra and heart chakra, but it's definitely throat chakra, how much art, the expression of art affects, wait for it, the second chakra. My experience with Venus moving into Leo this week, I had a whole second chakra art wave, colorful art wave thing, healing thing, cathartic, painful, scary, and then very healing, cathartic, move through my second chakra. And I was like, of course I'm doing art. Of course I'm doing art. Now, art, like money, money's connected through the entire body. Art is connected through the entire body. But I'm pretty sure, home of money is second chakra. I'm thinking art has a very strong foundational place in that second chakra as well. And so when we're doing art, people, art is life, life is art, then we're also affecting our energetic money relationship in this energy environment. Do you now see how the three are very connected? And the thing that hit home for me this week that was so exciting is I had an interaction, I had a conversation with a woman about art, and she was talking about some of her challenges getting to her art, and we kind of were interacting about that, and all of a sudden I asked some questions and she opened up, and it was very beautiful and vulnerable and wonderful, and she told me, and all of a sudden in Technicolor, zing, I could see my somatic money blueprints just totally interacting and being applied with challenges of getting to your art in your art space. Like they're interchangeable, totally interchangeable. And, truth be told, the schematics that I've come up with, somatic money, is totally pluggable into the life space. It's plugged into the life space. And it turns out it's plugged into the art space. And I want to talk about that so much more. And so from here on out, you are going to be seeing me mixing and matching and weaving energy forecasting, the energetics going on, with the energy of money in the body-based space, with the art it's all interconnected. And I think it's going to be so cool and so rich. And I hope you come along for the ride. And one of the things I notice is like a lot of you show up for my energy forecasting, right? And then my numbers drop off on the money and the art. And really, they should be the same all across the board because they're all vital to us. And so my suggestion to you is come along for the ride. Check out those conversations and topics going on because they all apply to all of us. And my hunch is that if you come along for the ride with the 3 full pillars, you're going to continue, you're going to get insights that you normally wouldn't get if you just hung out with the energy forecasting. If you just do the energy forecasting, that's great. Love it. Love to have you there. If you step off and then engage and connect in with the somatic money, which is energy money through the body space, and then connect in with the art, which is all of us in our lives. I think these are 3 very integrated platforms, and I can't wait to have the universe illuminate to us the connections and the conversations we can have and the questions that we can have and the conversations that come with those. So hope you come along for the ride. And I'm just going to continue to be a little bit more bold and vocal because this is our lives. And while so much is being taken away from us right now, this is me coming through and infusing us with these choices and this richness and these next steps and basically giving the bird to the freaking toxic patriarchy because this is our sovereignty. We came here to do this at this time with our 5D new earth selves and experience this in whole brand new ways. And I've got a platform that is going to shed some freaking light on a lot of this that maybe we hadn't even thought about before. And I'm super excited. So I hope you come along for the ride. On that note, let's talk about the energy forecasting for this week. By and large, what you need to know about the energy forecasting this week is we hit the ground running. We are moving this week. There is movement energy this week. So I just want you to be aware of that. That's number 1. Number 2, the astrology is so freaking stacked. Like, are you kidding me? When I think we max it out, it goes to a whole other level. What I will tell you about the astrology, just in general, if you want to know the details, come into the extended energy forecast. But what you need to know is that there are different moving energies happening this week that could pull you in different directions. And it's going to take some wherewithal on your part to just very consciously decide where or how you want to land on the top side of things. Like this is a week you could get sucked down some rabbit holes. There could be some friction. There could be some challenges. But at the same time, there could be some really powerful moving energies that could land you to the top side, land you in some really good places. But it's going to take some conscious elbow grease on your part to not control it, but just to be very aware that there are, different moving energies at any different time and you landing on the top side of it. And if you want to know the details and ins and outs of what those are, that's in my energy forecasting. But this is me just giving you a heads up and saying, go forward boldly, but be aware of your steps and be conscious of the top side that you want to land on. And there's going to be some things happening and things are going to probably start moving forward more rapidly in some very good positive ways. If we want to be a part of that, like I said in my extended energy forecasting, this is the first week in a long time that even no matter how daunting the astrology looks, I feel good about this week. Like I feel jazzed up, jacked up, like let's do this thing this week. That's my feeling for this week. Could we really fuck it up for ourselves? Yeah, that is in the air too. It is. And that's why I'm saying, go consciously, but I'm also thinking like, go boldly, go consciously, go boldly, ride the top wave of this thing and make very conscious choices about your mental and your emotional and your energetic, because I think there is some good fruition, good reaping at hand. if we want to do that, but we've got to be available. We've totally got to be available. The other thing that I would say is I think we are going to begin to see more shift and more movement with the geopolitical stuff. Like, I think this is a week where, like, it gets pushed over the edge. Now, remember, September is the month that a lot of astrologers and what I saw energetically and astrologically, this is the beginning of the power to the people movement. Sovereignty, embodying, claiming ourselves, claiming who we are, being loud and proud about it. And I think we get a whole new burst of energy on that scene in a way we haven't had for a while. We've been sucking down into the undertow for a while, and I feel like I sense very much that we're going to come to the top side. This month, I think there's going to be turmoil. There's going to be a lot of confusion. I'll tell you what I said in the energy forecasting is, like, long-term people, pace yourself. Just because we see things happening and moving, that is great. And pace yourself, because we've got to be in this for the long term. Remember, we are here for 5D, new earth, new time, new structures. And so it's not going to be helpful to blow ourselves out in 1 week, which probably I can see myself doing quite easily right now, because everything is just so feel good, right? But I would say, no matter how fast we see things moving or how much we see things moving this month, to, like, moderate it, pace ourselves, because once things break, it's going to be a full 6 months till stuff gets sorted out. And then through that 6 months period, it's really like into 2028 before things really begin to land. So keep in mind, remember, I am the psychic that looks at things long term. I am not going to be one of those psychics that go, predicts, oh, this is what I see this week. No, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to look at the tea leaves for the longer term, and the longer term that I see is like, it's going to move this month. It is definitely going to move this month, and we need to pace ourselves, and we need to be prepared for however the apple cart gets turned over. It's going to take a good 6 months to work it out, like into March of 2026, September 2026, March 2026. That's how I'm clocking the timing. And really full and solid landing is not until 2028. And there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that happens between now and then. Then I always love to do a channel with Spirit Team to make sure we have that for the week, so that you have that for the week. So let me tune in with Spirit Team and just let me see what's going on here. Okay, first thing they're saying is for this free energy forecast, I pretty much covered it. And then I want to share a gem with you that I have also shared with the extended forecast. Like, I think this is so important for all of us to know. And it's kind of a funny, ha-ha story. So this is less channel from Spirit Team, but also kind of like an insider psychic story. And that is, like, I mean, as well as I, moving through August has been so intense. And the intensity of the timeline jumps and the intensity of astrology and everything we've been living through. And there were days in the middle of it where I could just, a little bit of my Eastern Colorado roots, I could just feel myself cowgirl up with 5D and go, okay, we got to move through this thing, but I want to do it in higher vibration, and I want to make conscious choices. And yes, this is just bumpy and intense and it's challenging, but damn it, I want to do it. Basically, it was a conscious choice of, like, I want to do it the new way. And there were a few days this happened. Like, I literally could hear Spirit Team talking about me around me. Now, this happens occasionally. Sometimes I will be, like, so much in my space and so on it, and I can feel my team, but I'm not really, like, directly communicating with them, but I can hear them. It's like, sometimes they, like, have conversations about me, like, not in a mean way, but sometimes they'll have conversations about me. And that's how I learn stuff sometimes. And, like, so this happened, like, it was probably about a week or 10 days ago. It was like in one of the really intense timeline jumps. And I was just like, I was bound and determined to stay upright that day and move through my things in a good way and be conscious about it and constructive. And I just, like, I wasn't going to take it lying down. I'm so tired of taking stuff lying down. And so I cowgirled up into it with my 5D stuff. And, like, partway through the day, I heard my Spirit Team start saying things like, oh my God, do you see what she's doing? Oh my God, we've never seen this. Oh my, she is flaming her soul. And I started laughing out loud. I'm like, first they're talking about me. They're not talking out, they're talking about me to one another, and I can hear it. And secondly, the thing about flaming my soul, at first I was like, uh-oh, maybe I'm pushing it over the edge, maybe I'm pushing it too far. And it was like, no. I was learning how to go to the next level with my 5D self, my 5D, 6D self. And then and they not only said it once, they said it a couple times. Like a couple times they were like, oh, she's doing it again. And so finally I just stopped and I'm like, what am I doing? And I slowed down and stopped and breathed, and I got in my center, and I could see myself vortex, like not just light. You know, it wasn't just like being in the light space. No, I was vortexing light. I was vortexing my upper hemisphere, vortexing light, and then vortexing my lower hemisphere. And so it was that whole Merkaba thing where one spins one way and one spins the other way. And I was vortexing my light, and I was vortexing my light to create stability. I was doing it I was doing it subconsciously. I was doing it to create stability in some very challenging energies because I refused to go down for the count. This is my Scotch-Irish, fuck it, I'm going for the ride, right? And so evidently I was vortexing energy, the whole Merkaba spin thing, and Spirit Team was like, oh my God, she's flaming her soul, and it was a lot. But then I was kind of like, oh my God, like I'm taking myself to the next level. And, and there was, I could hear chatter on the wire from Spirit Team. And later on in the evening, when I sat down to meditate, they basically said to me, they said, Dana, you guys are doing things it's never been done before. It was kind of along the lines of, you're doing things that either never has been done before or hasn't been done for a very, 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 very long time. I mean, Atlantis? Maybe? I don't know. But anyway, so Spirit Team was shocked. I shocked them. This is that whole thing of here we are doing all this spiritual stuff on the planet at the time, and we think we're the students, and sometimes the roles reverse, and actually we're the masters showing spirit world what it is to be energetically embodied in a physical body. This is whole other level kind of stuff, people. And so there's been a couple of evenings where Spirit Team has sat me down in my evening meditation and gone, Dana, what you're doing and what people are doing, it's unheard of. What you're doing is unheard of. And so this is me getting in front of you to let you know that, yes, it seems like the shadow is swallowing us whole, and there's all this nasty stuff going on, and people are getting hurt, and lives are ended, and things are more and more out of control. And I want to report to you that 5D is alive and well, and we are transforming in waves, Freudian slip, in ways that we couldn't even imagine for ourselves, that we didn't even know is possible. And we're doing it, and we did a ton of it in August. And I have a hunch that all of this subconscious, unconscious stuff that we've done transforming through the summer and especially through August, we are going to come out flaming this fall in a way that it is just going to be, it's going to erupt out of us. So I want you to keep that in mind as you move through into September, because September is going to be a whole other kind of month. And just so you know, I do the weekly energy forecasting. I need to get back on the timeline jump forecasting. That's next in line here now that I've got my platform, a lot more solidified. So I'll be doing that fairly soon, and potentially maybe an intuitive take on the state of the nation. I don't know if that's in the works yet or not, but this is just me coming around and saying to you is think the ride's going to get a lot more interesting, and give yourself more credit for being here and doing what you're doing, because we're doing things that are not even being covered in the headlines, not even close. And I don't even know that's being covered in the spiritual community, maybe some, but I think we need to be telling ourselves and one another more and more and more how amazing we are, what miracles we are, and what we're actually, and what we're actually doing at this point without even knowing it. So, so be sure to drop down in the comments, share with me what you've got, everything that I talked about. Would love to hear from you about it. And yes, thank you for being here. That's what I've got for you today. Please keep walking forward and meet those miracles along the way, because they are happening. And I will see you in my next video, people. Make sure you're there.